I know last week I kind of blew by Daredevil until like the end of the day, and then we had to shoot that separate. Thankfully, it's a bit of a slow news week, in my opinion. Anyway, this week, I know you had some interpretations, opinions, however you want to put it, about where Daredevil Born Again season 2 ended at the exciting conclusion of episode 4. I'll give you that; it was exciting. The ending was exciting for sure.
Episode 4 is probably the best we've seen of season 2.
That I think I would agree with that. Give me a little bit more. I don't know how you want to frame talking about an episode that does run for like 52 minutes. Like it's not short. Like
it's not short, and it doesn't feel 52 minutes either. It feels like it was quick and to the hurry.
But that's topic 1, Daredevil Born Again, season 2, episode 4. If you haven't seen it, it just came out yesterday. Maybe you want to go check that out. As Kingsy's always saying, come back, check out this review. Our live cast will be there for you tomorrow. We always have it up and rolling. Oh, can we get the background? Oh, dude, I gotta do that or something when you do the background change. Like, bam, gonna give you something like that.
But one thing we also need to do, because we're going to get deep into this, we need to hit that spoiler alert. So go ahead and start doing it. That's right.
Right.
You have been warned. Because there's no way you can not talk about this episode and not talk about spoilers. There's no way you could do it.
Impossible to, because I think that in terms of pacing and just how they actually go through their A to B finish by the end of this episode, I think you're right. I think this is probably the best episode they've had in the season. I think finally there's a pivotal, like a keystone, cornerstone, whatever the word is, event that happens at the end of the episode that for the first time this season, where I was a little dogged on the show through the first 3 episodes, I'm like, well, now I have to watch next week. Now I need to know. I'm finally, that moment has happened. For me,
what up, everybody? Excuse the interruption of the video. This is King Z, and I wanted to just add in a little bit more to our review here of Daredevil Season 2, Episode 4, Gloves Off. When I woke up this morning, I had some pictures in my social medias about it, and this show is so beloved. It has set a record. It is the highest rated episode in any MCU television show or Netflix Marvel show ever. It is the highest rating with a 9.6 on IMDb. You can see it right here. I'm giving you a graphic. You can see it right there. I also checked Rotten Tomatoes and Metascore. Both of those are not having scores up at this moment, but the overall Season 2 of Daredevil Born Again has risen from an 85, I believe it's an 89 now, and like 90% fresh with the critics. So I just want to throw that in there, that this episode is the pinnacle of what a street level superhero movie or show should be doing, because it highlighted one person while Daredevil did his things, and then you had that turn. One of the most unexpected things that happened in this series so far, other than wasting the muse in season 1. Now let's get back to the rest of our normal discussion, and let us know what you think down in the comments. Hit that subscribe button if you liked what we're saying. And yeah, I really want to hear your comments on this one, because this episode was a banger. I said so. Winter Wolf, who's kind of a little off on the season, he thought this was a good episode-ish, and the people have spoken and they have agreed as well. So I can't wait to see where the fallout comes from this episode. Catch us back next week. We should be doing the review live on Wednesday, and then we'll drop the review part cut out of the rest of our Frostcast podcast and have it posted as well, either on Friday or Saturday. Thank you for being a fan. If you want to join the Wardens, go ahead. And yeah, let's get back to our normal scheduled discussion.
Still not, I still don't think this is the representative best of Daredevil as a franchise. The Netflix stuff still has this beat hands down.
But did you notice in this that they actually use footage from the Netflix series, therefore making the Netflix series officially canon for the first time? They've mentioned it, but we've never actually seen footage.
What was the footage?
Well, him at the gym That was in
Oh,
season 1 of
no
Daredevil.
shit. I didn't
Yeah,
remember
it's
that. I
actual
thought that was
footage
new
from
stuff.
season 1 that was on Netflix. So they
Okay.
officially have made Daredevil season 1 through 3 canon.
Now, that's cool from a fan perspective and as fans of the Netflix show in particular. I wonder now if this somehow canonically traps them. Like, does this just open up a minefield of crap for them to step in that now, because they've canonized that version of the show, do they now have to watch out for continuity problems? That'll be interesting because
There's
they're
not
not
really
geared for
much continuity problems you can really go over unless you bring Elektra back as Elektra. She can only be the weapon from here on out.
Exactly. And that's exactly the kind of landmine I'm thinking that maybe these clowns step on, just because they seem prone to do it, because they seem willing or willfully ignorant, I mean, of things like canon. Like, what serves them, they make serve them. What doesn't have, what they don't think they have any use for, they throw aside quickly, and then they get all bitchy with us when we go, but that can't be a thing because this, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like they, and it's not just an MCU Daredevil thing. I feel like fandom versus producers right now is like that everywhere, whether it's Trek, Star Wars, MC, whatever it might be. We got knives out on each side at this point.
And speaking of knives out, you might have to hide your forks and spoons after watching this episode.
So the other good scene in this hour-long episode, because it opened and strong and closed strongly, definitely. Bullseye went to town, dude.
Bullseye is such a compelling character, too.
I'm going to get to that in a second because I actually wanted to ask you about that. We got cutlery, we got coins, we got lobster claws, half eaten. What else? My man just was throwing stuff around.
There was part of like a broken straw
cherry
thing.
stem.
Toothpick. It started with a toothpick.
There was a meat thermometer that he deflected off a wall that pinned the AVTF guy's hand to the floor so he could get over and then throw a knife into his eye or whatever he did. Dude, Bullseye is sick. He's kind of sick.
Yeah.
But to your point about he's an interesting character, the episode starts really weird.
Yeah.
Because it does the whole, it gave him 3 save the cat beats in like 5 seconds. And you're like, wait a minute, what? Like, he's making eggs for like the neighbor's cat, and like he's flipping money to like a homeless dude, and they got the upbeat New York State of Mind music playing. Like, what is this episode?
Billy Joel going on?
Right. So I'm like, for a second, I thought it was going to be the obligatory unnecessary flashback episode. I really thought it was going there, dude. I really thought.
Yeah. I mean, we had a couple flashbacks, but they were well-timed, well-purposed flashbacks. Like I just talked about.
Yeah.
Yep.
A single fried egg.
A single egg. But did you know it was a bullseye and he put it right in the dead center of it?
Yeah, but you know what though? It was still one egg.
It still was one egg.
Are you really using oil to make eggs? Like I do a little bit of butter. I was just looking a little bit of that.
Hey,
really
some people are in a cholesterol state of mind.
I mean, but then you probably need to stay away from them oils anyway. Maybe just not do that. Maybe get them hard-boiled eggs going. I don't know. But it was a lot of oil. But that's neither here nor there. That was a bit of interesting development for him, especially as he's walking into the diner and he's hyper weird, polite to like the waitress taking his order, like creepy weird. I'm like, he gonna cut this chick any second.
He's like winking at her. He's like, she's like, do you want whip? He's like, doesn't everybody?
And she could not give a shit too. Like, this is a woman that's worked in that diner for 40 years and just does not care.
She
doesn't give a shit, just pay and go. It was kind of funny. But he calls in the tip on the AVTF saying, oh, I'm at this diner and I seen the Punisher roll up in here. It's definitely Frank Castle. And he's got a gun. Oh no, like he's fake dry panic.
Oh, it was straight dry panic too. Like I could really care less. This guy has a gun.
And you could hear the 911 operator being like, oh shit, it's Frank Castle, the Punisher. All right, sit tight. Units are on the way. And I'm like, all right, so we're setting up Frank to get him over here. Cause he could have just said, hey, it's Poindexter. I'm here. Bullseye's here. Cause he left his fucking calling card on the window anyway.
When he left.
What was the point of calling for the pun? Right.
Well, I think he did that just to get them to come out there so they wouldn't be expecting Bullseye. If they're expecting Punisher. Because Punisher would go head to head with you, where we see how Bullseye acts. He has angles. He's hiding most of the time.
Fair. I'm thinking if I'm the AVTF, right, and it's either of these guys, I'm just going in max armor, max facial covering, so I don't get a throwing knife in the eye, like all of them, and I just start shooting. And that's my only gripe with the scene is that they waited until 6 of these guys were dead before anybody started shooting, and then at a distance of 10 feet, they all missed as he dove over the counter, which was kind of funny. But it was still it was a great shootout scene, and then his takedown of them was disgusting.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
It was such a great scene. And then the best part was when he jumps over the counter when they start shooting, and he's the waitress is laying down the ground. Yeah. It really was a good milkshake.
It was kind of funny. For sure.
And dude has like no brain cells because he drank a whole milkshake in the time it took them to respond with zero.
In like one pull. In like one pull.
Yeah. This episode, like, it starts off as a banger. I'm like, that's the way you start off an episode right there.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it was a strong bookend here because I think that once they get into the middle, our opinion here is definitely gonna diverge a bit because you said that you felt like the hour went by pretty quick, like it was bam, 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 bam. Did its thing. You want to talk more about that? Pick out some scenes?
Oh yeah, because I mean I watched it a second time already today.
Oh,
I watched one of my other channels while they did their live reaction of it, and like they were just completely blown away. Like they were pointing out stuff that I was missing, and I just loved it. It was, but like you start off, you know, the Botsy match is the big thing in this one. They've been hyping up for this. They've been doing the training for this since the beginning of the season. Where he's gonna have this Botsy match and down in Hell's Kitchen. He's gonna have the people there. Was it New York Born Again campaign? New York Born
Again. Yep, that's after the Safer Streets initiative.
But he's sending Vanessa off because he knows Bullseye's out there and he's after her. And he's like, and he needed her to go talk to the governor to try to talk her out of doing the revoking his charter for his Freeport.
Yep.
But like he's like completely stressed, and then Matthew Lillard comes in and just like puts it on another level on him, and then he loses his power base under Fisk.
The Lillard showing back up made timely sense. I liked him being there because I like seeing the central antagonist in any given show, not just steamroll a situation instantly. Like put some pressure on it. Even if it's not true. Make it look like he's on his back foot. You know what I mean? Like the Lillard character, Mr. Charles, shows up and he's like, you know, we paid you for services rendered, and that service, you know, still hasn't been rendered because I'm sitting on this box of machine guns and it's
my
still here.
Non-square pooping ass is sitting on this box.
That's a bit weird. We talked about wombats pooping cubes for like 7 minutes. That's a Lillard thing to talk about. But it all made sense. And then of course Buck does Buck stuff, and I'm like, oh, that's right. You're that guy. Because I think I'd forgotten about that to a degree, a little bit there. Pape says boxing is a huge tie into the origin. Oh, for sure. 100%.
Yeah, his dad was a boxer. That was his dad's gym.
Right. Yep, Fogwell's. That's right.
Yeah, Fogwell's. Yeah.
Hills, yeah. And Dad taught him how to box. I think Dad taught him how to box before.
And one of the biggest things he always said is that Murdoch's always get back up.
Yep. That's definitely that's like core character trait right there for sure. The Lillard thing, so put a tie on that. It's a back and forth real quick, like a tug of war, and then it ends with the Kingpin being like, yeah, next time just call. It's courteous. And he just leaves.
Yeah. Like, you're not on my agenda today.
Right. That's some good stuff. But I like, but you notice though, for the first time in ever, where Kingpin was sitting, he was lower than the person he was talking to. It was visually, it was striking.
Until he stood up when he got his power base back. Exactly. It was like timed.
It was intentional. And again, those are the little, call it not subtle, but like there was thought to that, because if there wasn't, he would have just walked in and stood next to Buck. You know what I mean? So they at least thought that level of writing. And you know what? That was probably Vincent D'Onofrio telling these hacks how to do it. You know what I mean? Like it would actually look better this way if. So I'm glad they did that. That gave it some teeth. Dude, for me, I feel like the middle part of this thing did drag a little bit, because again, it's a Daredevil show without enough Daredevil for me. Like the guy stood around until about the halfway point of the episode as they were interviewing the people that they rescued and getting their witness statements. You know, he had that little chat with Karen about going to get Kirsten. because we need a lawyer to take the statements. So I'm like, okay, but go do stuff. Then we
And he
get the little
did.
investigation thing, and he did, but dude, it was 24 minutes in. It's just not that. I'm still miffed at that. It's just not enough. What he did was interesting when he got there. He actually did some little investigation stuff. The stuff in the diner where he's undercover as the ABTF. I like that little bit. I liked a little bit in the church with the priest.
Yeah,
That was kind of cool.
Daredevil's back in the church.
Mm-hmm. And again, he said a little prayer to Saint Lucia. I'm like, okay, this is all like Pape was saying about the boxing thing. The Catholic stuff, like, yeah, no, it needs that. Like, that's what makes the character.
Yeah, I mean, his
the blindness.
The nun that
This is mom.
Was it episode 2 that he came looking for was his mom, and then in season 3 it was his mom who nursed him back to health after the events of the Defenders.
Right. So I mean, I'm glad that they're at least hitting on all those points. I did like that scene in the Murdoch law office, Murdoch and McDuff or whatever it is with Cursor, where the AVT shows up and just trashes the joint.
Yeah,
those guys are dicks, dude. That's one of my favorite parts of the show.
They really builds that hate towards them.
Dude, they are so one-dimensionally slimy that I love them. I really do, because they are scumbags. And when they get got in the next 3 episodes, it's going to be good. You know.
Now, bring up a little bit. I saw an interview with, of course, D'Onofrio and Charlie Cox, and they asked them, "What episodes are you excited for people to see?"
I just watched that after you said
they're like the last 2. Like the last 2 is going to blow your mind.
Yeah, I think these guys are in a pretty good spot with me to be able to tell me that's exactly the ones that are going to blow my mind. That I don't think they're just saying that because that's the thing you say. Because I feel like the cheap canned answer to that question is, well, dude, they're all good. They're all the best.
No, they told you exactly which ones they're like,
no. Second to last and finale. You guys are going to want to check that out. I think it was Ivan. And Ivan, if you're here, hello. I didn't see you pop in the chat yet, but if you're there, Ivan mentioned that he wanted to see different Daredevil. He needs more out of Daredevil's Rogues Gallery. And I agree with him 100%. I think that this should wrap up Kingpin's stuff.
Yeah, in which they've said that this ends Mayor Kingpin story.
Yeah. They need to pivot to another big bad, whether or not they introduce a threat at the end of season 2, or if they save it for like hype mode for when season 3 enters production and they leak a couple things on social media and be like, oh, so-and-so was, you know what I mean? Like if they go that route, I'd be okay with that. But yeah, I think I'm good with this story getting wrapped up. And I think that it's true to that point. That last bit of this episode, we can talk about that right now if you want to just jump right into that. There's no turning back from that now. Like,
no,
shit's going down now.
So before we get that, we have to set up like what this actually means for the show going forward.
Take it away.
So you have his wife, who's now in was it Rochester is the capital of New York, or Albany? That's it, Albany.
But she might have been in Rochester.
Yeah,
the governor can live wherever she wants.
Went up to Albany to meet with the governor, and she talked the governor into supporting them only because she's attached. Because she gave a hint that she's the one who could keep the Kingpin on a leash.
Yep.
She can control him, which we've seen. Like when he gets over set, she's the one who knows how to calm him down. Now, anytime he goes over the top, like he did with Adam in season 1, she let that happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's exactly why that entire sequence didn't sit right with me. Right. We have this little thing called RICO, and that'd be exactly the kind of thing that the governor directs her district attorney or her attorney general to utilize to take Kingpin down. It would be through his wife, who has the documented history of organized crime from before. I don't like that whole abdication of power there. Like, they're trying to play up this rapport between the governor and Mrs. Kingpin, and I'm like, that would never happen like that, though, because you know she's married to a violent former scumbag. I get they're doing it for plot. Like, it needs to happen for the story here. They needed to have her have a reason not to be there at the beginning of the fight, I guess, or to keep the port unthreatened. But I just don't like that the governor is that quick to be like, can you super serious promise me that you can keep him under control? Like, pinkies, like, no, stop it. This is the governor. The governor roll up in there and shut this whole fucking thing down today.
He wanted to, but if she had something to gain from it, don't you think she's going to roll in with him?
What's the game? Like, but then put that out there. Put her on the take. Put the threat out there. Have Mrs. Kingpin drop the folder of the governor's kids at school on her desk. Do something. But they're going this other way where they're really trying to play it like Mrs. Fisk is on the level. that she's the normal one. You know what I mean? And like, we already know that that's not the case. And the governor should know that by reputation. Like, she shouldn't be totally ignorant of who this woman is. Like, if she was a complete non-factor, then yeah, you can play that character that way. But no, everybody knows this is a fucking underworld power couple. Like, act like it. So it's just a little weird. But that's just the setup. Continue into the fisticuffs, please. 'Cause that's the more interesting thing.
Yeah.
For sure.
So then we get into Daredevil doing was Matt Murdock dressed up as the anti-vaginoid task force, AVTF, doing his investigation, going to the church, finding out who the parishioner was, who had left the coin behind, which he found that the other cops didn't underneath, because it looked just like a coin that got knocked off. So I can understand why they would overlook that, because it was like under a coffee cup and stuff like that. But I think Bullseye left it on purpose. Left it for
100%.
him.
100%.
Yep.
That was my take instantly.
So he knew it's so this time that leads off to where he is, because he uses the hearing and he pinpoints him because he's talking to his neighbor who he's feeding the cat.
Right.
So then them two start fighting, and that fight was intense as well.
It was a good one.
Where he like opens a CD player, this drops out, and he throws it off the wall, and he catches it and throws it back at it.
Did you see how much stank he put on that CD? He like buried it 3 inches deep in that drywall.
Yeah,
that's no joke. They were slinging it for sure.
They knew a lot about the different angles of bouncing stuff off. It was a good fight. It was a good fight.
Both fights are both Daredevil Bullseye issues in this episode. They're fun because they're not just the same straight up fist fight that you get when you watch the Punisher fight, which they lend to be gory. Like, that's their gimmick. You know, when you watch Batman, fight in like one of the live action things, it's very technical and brutal on a different level. The Daredevil Bullseye stuff is unique in and of itself because both guys are powered in a way that they can do stuff normal people, even normal superheroes, don't move and don't fight that way. Yeah. Whether it's because they're blind, because they have mastery or trajectory, like you were saying. So it's fun.
Yeah, and also, of course, of Bullseye's healing factor, because he does have an adamantium backbone,
which I had forgotten about, and I'm like, wait a minute, didn't this guy fall off a building before?
Yeah, and he started getting himself up. Right. It's because it's what they did to his backbone at the end of season 3, which they called it something different because it was Netflix Marvel, but now we all know it's adamantium. But then we move on to where he's like, unbalance the scales. I had to get my mind right. One good deed, and we're back balanced again. And he's like, your fist. He's like, I can't let you kill him. You can't make him a martyr.
Great line.
Yeah. And he's like, I don't care what you say. This is what's going to happen. And then he gets that one little wrist flip of his stick that goes up and bounces, that frees the lady who's his neighbor. He has a gun on. She's like, but Tony, why he did his ass whipped by
he was a good boy.
He's a good boy. He walked down the wrong path today.
Yeah. Yeah. He was just one bump, one nudge away, I guess. He had a bad day and almost shot this chick.
I don't think he was ever planning on shooting. He just wanted to make Daredevil believe he would, because he's one of the good guys now.
Well, technically, I mean, he did kill that prison guard a lot.
Yeah,
he did kill
a lot. If you wear anti-vigilante task force, you are open game, because once again they become a fall guy as we did into this. So we did into the fight, and like first off, we're in his locker room, and they're talking about. Yeah, because they found Christoph. Christoph gave his deposition on camera to a lawyer, as well as in this type of story where it's with Bullseye, it does. I don't know, because they attached it to something else when they did the surgery on him.
Yeah, but it wasn't the metal per se. It was the procedure that enhanced him.
Yeah, but it was encased in adamantium that went on his backbone.
Yep. They upgraded him.
Yeah, they have the technology.
We can make him stronger, faster. It's going to cost $6 trillion this time, though.
Yeah.
Anyway. But they got the first mate. And by they, we mean Karen and her.
Yeah, and they're doing their interview, and they have a couple other interviews. There's a slick little transfer of an SD card to BB right in front of the deputy mayor, which I think he's in on it, because the way he looked at them, like this.
He did look at her, and he looked low. He looked down at her hand in that pocket. Make no mistake, he's suspecting something.
Yeah,
just saying. Just saying.
But once again, she shoots him down. He's like, I didn't know I was on a date with a celebrity. She's like, not a celebrity, and it's not a date.
Yeah. Again, and that's after his super not creepy line of, "Oh, we're so close to the fight that by the end of the night we're both going to be covered in sweat." And she's like, "Yeah, that probably sounded different in your head, didn't it?" And I'm like,
and he's like,
"Just
it did." As I started saying it, I was trying to find another. I find another. At least he's self-aware enough to know that he's coming off creepy.
And that she's 10 levels of hot above him at least. Yeah, pretty much.
That like he's like high school baseball and she's in the major leagues.
Now, dude, he's 5 years out of high school baseball, still talking about that one time he had a big hit in 11th grade.
Yep.
That's what he is.
And she's out there throwing on opening day of the
right,
World
right.
Series pitching.
Like slinging heat. Right, exactly. Yeah. But they're interviewing everybody that the AVT captured and was detaining it illegally
after the jailbreak from the last
after episode. The jailbreak from episode 3. And they get to the first officer and they're asking him questions like, "Yes, we got orders to scuttle the ship." And they're like, "Well, why would you do that?" And he was like, "Why wouldn't we? We're carrying a bunch of guns and fucking missiles and shit." And then they actually get into some of the, and I say specifics, but I don't mean like legal forensic natures of it, but they talk about how he's been all over the world, and the only way you can deliver crap like this is with authorization.
If you own the city.
If you own the city. And he's like, "Is the right words?" And they're like, yeah, in this case, it actually might be.
It probably is.
Right. And I'm like, okay, so they're talking about that this is like a thing that happens, and it's happened before, and this is the mechanism that happens. So they're trying to lay a foundation down to make it come across as grounded for fiction. And I like that. Yeah. That was good. And he's like, "Hey, we were given orders to scuttle the ship if we were boarded." And Kirsten asks them, well, what agency boarded you? And he's like, "One man." Dramatic pause.
The Daredevil.
Daredevil, Cue the music in the background.
And that's when they ended the deposition. And I thank you. The U.S. Marshals will be there. We cut back to the locker room, and Buck gets a phone call. And I honestly, at that point, like I totally forgot about the first mate getting picked up by the marshals. I'm like, where's Buck off to? Is he going to, does he have some tips on this? Did the deputy mayor call him to bring in BB? I'm wondering now, like, what's going on? There's so many cards that play it at this point.
Yep.
And then I found out that
juggling balls in the air.
Yeah. Buck goes and takes out the first mate and the 2 deputies, 3 bullets, 3 kills.
Yeah, but that's that scene had a whole different layer. The phone call scene had a different layer of a little bit of tension too, because his phone buzzes and he just taps the pocket like he's looking for it. And Fisk says, looks like you got somewhere to be." And I'm like, "Oh, does Fisk suspect he's the leak?" And I was like, "Ruh-roh," because that's some Penguin Vic shit right there. You know what I mean? Like, "Oh, wait a minute, it's your guy that's the closest to you, and you let him in, and he had your back," and then. You know what I mean? Like that was touch and go. But who do you think made the call? Who called him?
I think they had people embedded in the police department. And they probably saw the marshals rolling out.
That's kind of what I was thinking. But it wasn't one of those times where I missed a specific thing that they did. Okay, no. I was just checking. You know me. Sometimes I
was wondering the same thing too, because that's where it led to.
Rewind. Yep.
Yeah. Like I said, there were so many cards in play. I didn't know where he was actually going to go with that phone call. And I think the reason why he was reserved because he didn't want to leave Fisk's side with him putting himself as bait to trap the Bullseye.
Right. Speaking of Bullseye, hey, Ivan, what's going on, boss? Bullseye better than Kingpin at this point from what I hear. I'm not seeing the show anymore. Dude, I don't blame you, honestly. The King, if you're just popping in now, buddy, the King's definitely higher on the show than I am. Oh, yeah. I was not as bored this week. And if you didn't see this episode all the way through, even if you're going to jump off, I would recommend watching this episode through the end, because there's a pivotal event at the end of this episode that's making it look definitively like they are going to stay true to what they've said in interviews that we were talking about before the show came out, that this is the end of the Kingpin's run. Like his story will be wrapped at the end of this season and they will move on to other criminals from the Rogues Gallery, like you and I were talking about a couple weeks ago. So I check out the end of that episode for sure. I think you're gonna be like, "Oh, okay, that's pretty good." Yeah, because it definitely ended strong. It started strong this week and it ended very strong, I would say.
Yeah. You did ask Oracle too when they were coming out to do the Botsy match. I was wondering if they were going to do it like artistically, like there's a fight going on and like kind of match punches, kind of like doing the Snake Eyes movie that Nicolas Cage was in.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Kind of doing that where you have something going outside, but the fight is kind of like driving the other plot points. And
Right.
it didn't do it to the extent I thought they would, but they did do it a lot. Like when he threw a punch, or right before Butt shoots the first mate, it goes back to a punch. You don't
Yep.
see the gunfire.
Yep.
Yeah,
It was definitely stylized.
Yeah,
sure.
stylized. But yeah, Fisk comes out to his no boxing record versus the champion who is like 35 and
32 and 2 or 35 and 2. Yeah.
Yeah. In his professional career, and like going up against this rookie. But this rookie, did you hear how much he outweighed the dude? He was like 100 pounds.
Like it was
like 100 pounds more.
Yeah, it was a lot. And 3 feet of height from what I saw.
And now D'Onofrio has come out and said that he doesn't like wearing the Kingpin suit anymore because he's wearing a fat suit.
Yeah,
to make himself look bigger and stuff like that.
And you can tell in his face like he's not that guy. He's not a fat guy. No,
but he's also like he can't do it. Like he's too old for it, is what he was saying.
Yeah.
To keep putting that fat suit on and sweating and all that.
Yeah, he's like 60s. We looked this up, isn't he? Wasn't he 60 when we looked this up?
His mid 60s, I think. I think like 66.
You're not trying to carry around 80 pounds of gear in your mid 60s. You know,
I mean, he was Private Pile in Full Metal Jacket. And what was that?
1980s? Early 80s? Yeah, whenever that was.
Yeah, it was a Stanley Kubrick movie.
Right. Private Pile, do you mean it? No, exactly. I'm not going to go down that.
66.
Oracle says. Yeah. My man's not trying to carry around a fat suit all the time.
Yeah, he's not trying to put on an extra 180-pound fat suit. Yeah. So he didn't look the part. But you could tell his arms, though. Like you could see when he was in his boxing, like you saw like the bigger, but those were his arms. Yeah. Those were his
muscles. Dude, when they rolled out to the middle of the ring to tap gloves and he hit him with the Ivan Drago, just fucking pounded him down. I'm like,
Rochetti.
Like, dude was probably reconsidering some life decisions for getting involved in this charity initiative because, yeah, dude, and then he just kicks his ass. That's the thing too.
Yeah,
you would have thought that even within the context of this show, it's a charity event. We're gonna do a little do-si-do and this and that.
And I think Professional Fighter came out.
He thought.
Yeah.
Right? You think they're going to do a little bit of this or that, and then maybe he gets a little greedy and slips one in on Kingpin, and then Kingpin just flattens him. Dude, Kingpin comes out and fucking blows this dude's doors off with like a right that just like rocks him. First shot, not a jail, like boom.
Yeah.
Right? And then he proceeds to wail on this dude for like a round before this dude comes out of the corner like, oh, it's going to be like that?
No, dude, that was after the first, that was after the first exchange.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Right? Like, dude, it's already been like that. Like, they should already stop this fight because you haven't mounted an intelligent defense in 3 minutes.
Yeah,
like,
you haven't defended yourself. Defend yourself at all times. They missed that part.
He said it. I heard the guy say the rules. The ref said the rule. Yeah. But they were just gonna, I'm not gonna do that one. Right? Because the Kingpin blows him away.
Yeah.
He takes one punch when Vanessa shows up that kind of gives him the above the eye abrasion thing. Yeah. But the rest of this fight is this dude's blood, exactly Foreman-esque. Exactly. Right? He blows this dude up, blood everywhere, all over the white suit. He's got him on the fucking ropes.
Hard to punch him in the back of the head, which is an illegal punch.
But dude, it's also illegal to keep your opponent pinned on the ropes as you're punching him in the stomach.
Or as he had his hands on the back of his head, like he took this to the street with gloves on.
Dude, he was beating the crap out of this guy. And then the wife shows up, and that's when he takes the one shot because he lets him up because he's distracted. Dude, side note, Mrs. Kingpin's kind of hot. I just thought I'd throw that out there. I think she looked pretty fantastic in the white dress.
Elegantly attractive woman.
Gorgeous, I would say. And we work through the fight. He destroys this dude, right? He goes down, and like the Oracle was talking pre-show, the fans, the crowd that was there, that was all rocking the Fisk merch, and they got the foam fingers, the pennant flags. They're all, yay, Kingpin, or yay, Fisk. They all go quiet, pin drop, all of them. Even the deputy mayor's like, because this dude went down like Rocky IV in like slow motion. His face bounced off the thing. And if you get him, if you on the replay, he's twitching. Like, my man was on the ground twitching like Apollo Creed style. I'm like, uh-oh. Kingpin just killed this dude in front of 90,000 people.
Yeah. Well, I'd say more about 15,000 people. It is a small gym.
It's a pay-per-view situation. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. For
You
the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world.
Exactly. Right. So they cart this poor bastard out, and he's alive. He's alive because they didn't bother putting any of the fucking.
They didn't put
Like nothing, and there was no EMTs like working him or nothing.
They put him on they put him on a gurney though.
Yep, I'm saying they didn't bag him and get him out. No, they weren't doing compressions or shocking him or nothing. So reasonable to say he's not dead,
but he is.
He's dead.
He died. Not
he's dead.
Dude, I'm surprised Smokey didn't jump in this one. You got knocked the fuck out.
So Kingpin does the thing, this little Macho Man Randy Savage and Miss Elizabeth thing. He hooks the ropes so Mrs. Kingpin can come in the ring, and he's already pissed.
That she's there.
Because
remember, he sent her to Albany for her protection because this was supposed to be a trap for Bullseye.
100%. And she's smart. She's doing the level head thing. She's like, kiss me.
Yeah.
Keep up the appearances. You got to kiss me now. So he does.
Yeah, and the Oracle pointed out that was a really good thing for her to do because the last thing they saw was him just knock this guy out senseless, straight 100%. Viciousness. And she's like, I got to get them another visual. And she's trying to kiss me. We got to give them another visual.
Dude, 100%, because all you saw while this dude was getting his head caved in was the flashing lights of everybody literally recording the beloved mayor of the city beating the crap out of this dude who ostensibly was also a hometown guy, the people's champ, 32 from Harlem or Brooklyn or wherever the fuck he was
Hell's
from.
Kitchen.
Wherever he was from, right? And literally you beat him to a bloody pulp in front of all these people. So yeah, we had to replace it. We needed to get that classic Beauty and the Beast image where, like, you know, the wounded warrior holding the belt and here's his loving wife. We got to ADHD the attempted murder real quick.
That's right. Give them something else to look at. Give them the next talking point. But they didn't need to do that because the next talking point just came walking through the door.
Walking through the door and with like a 42 pack of them little miniature throwing knives.
I wonder what he spends a year on knives. Because that budget has to be ridiculous.
Yeah, dude, but I mean, you could write that off though, right? You buy in bulk. There's options.
But you have to buy in bulk. But I mean, wouldn't someone be like, and we need 350,000 throwing knives?
But see, and again, to quote The Dark Knight, we buy the handles from one company through a dummy company, the blades from another one through a dummy company. We put them together ourselves. When they're talking about making the cowl and the helmet, we're gonna order 5,000 of each, not just one. Separate places.
But he doesn't own $1 billion business. He's a one-man operation.
That's true.
Timu. There we go.
Dude, listen, he's not Timu Bullseye. Get out of here with that.
There's no way he's doing Timu. Those knives bounce too well. The Trinity Taxes.
Yeah, no, those are probably the good knives. You're right, dude. But dude, he's a professional fucking supervillain. He could probably just walk in and rob a bank as needed.
But I mean, like you said, he was only on screen. He was in about half of it. All that other time, he's probably just sitting there screwing these knives together.
That's the B-roll.
Watching the TV. He's sharpening a couple of them up.
God damn, I cut myself. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. I could do that. I could see some behind
stuff that happens off camera. It's like a comedian. A comedian's up there for hour 30 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, and then they got 23 and a half hours to kill. So
listen, we're making massive suppositions here. For all we know, Bullseye is very well diversified with a bunch of like high yield, low risk situations. It's like that old meme. Like if you've been a vampire for 400 years and you're still broke, walk out in the sunlight. You're doing it wrong.
Yep, you're doing it wrong.
Man's been a supervillain since like 1975. Like he should have some money. Yeah, I just said Bullseye doesn't need the knives. He can literally use anything to kill. Yeah, dude. At the beginning of the episode, definitively proves this. But for style points and for the savageness. Dude, I'm not over the meat thermometer through the hand. That reminded me of it was a Friday the 13th 5 where Marty McFly's dad's like, hey Ted, where's the fucking corkscrew? And he gets the corkscrew in the hand.
Yeah.
Just reminded me of Bullseye just dinging him with the meat thermometer off the wall and through the web of the hand. That was kind of good. That was good. But he can definitely use anything. He did. He used a lobster claw. And a coin, and a cherry pit, and
I swear the shot of it was too far back, but he threw and he had his arms like this, but his head completely bowed as he was coming in through the shadow. I'm like, that is the shot. You're just too far out.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was like grand entrance bow with two knives that took out some of the agents. And like he's picking out the agents in the crowd and tagging them. Like they said that they have people,
plain clothes.
they have snipers up there. They have a full unit of the anti-vigilante force. They have plainclothes officers in the crowd. They had
Carrying
enough
heavy
people.
firepower.
And he started picking them off. Like he knew exactly who they were in the crowd. And he was just picking them off with his knives. He bounced one off like the ring bell and it came up and hit the dude around like 3 civilians, and no civilians got hit either.
Dude, and I went back and I checked that because I'm like, wait a minute, he's indiscriminately just smoking civvies in here. And then I was like, oh no, wait, I exactly what you just said. I was like, oh snap, they already said they got plain clothes AVP, AVTF. I'm like, oh damn, that's right. Because dude, he rolls through there and it's basically like a mini. This is a bit of a glaze, I admit it. It was like a mini Raid redemption scene. Like it felt like a one take where every motion he does is just throwing 2 things at once and just taking out 2 people. It was crazy.
Yeah,
all around the ring until he's just about where he needs to be, and then the big
climax telling his guys, get his wife out of there, because she is one of the Bullseye's targets for having him kill Froggy.
Right.
So, but she comes out and she had the gun in her purse, and she
which
comes
they
up
set up.
And the other thing is that they had this insert of a Fist New York City glass souvenir thing, and anytime they do an insert, you're trying to bring attention to this.
Chekhov's
and
gun.
I didn't know what it was about, but they did that insert, and then he picks that up, probably right where the deputy mayor was sitting, picked it up, like he was almost helping him out, you think. And he gets shot as he throws, like a quarterback getting hit as he throws, and it's coming at her, and Fist comes up with the belt and hits it with that championship belt, thinking everybody's safe, everybody's good. And then he pulls his gun to kill Bullseye and enters the Daredevil, saving Bullseye's life, but also saving Fist and his wife from being killed by Bullseye. And then them two took off running together as he got him out of the gym.
Pin there, because we got there's one massive thing coming next, obviously, that we hinted at early, right? So Daredevil and Bullseye are out on the street. Like they didn't fall 10 stories down. They fall out a window street level.
Yeah.
Right? They get up, they dust themselves off, Bullseye's shot. They both just run down the street this way.
Yeah.
There's visibly a crowd of people standing here at an intersection, right? And as Daredevil runs off after Bullseye and the AVTF come outside, I'm like, why is nobody just going like this? like where'd he go? They're all looking up at the skyline, like they're trying to cover all the points. And I'm like, well,
maybe they didn't want to help.
Maybe they did, but these are the Kingpin's boys. These are the people like, yay, he won the fight. Yeah, so the big beat that happens next, and this had elements of me to we just did Frankenstein by visionary director Guillermo del Toro a little while ago. She's in the all white dress, right? And she says Wilson, and then she kind of tilts her head a little bit.
And like the live reaction that I saw is like, oh, she's okay. She's standing there in the ring. They showed them both standing, and then you hear the Wilson, and we're like, oh no. And then she's there standing. You don't see anything, and she slowly turns her head, and a piece
4
of
inches
that
of crystal in her skull.
Bullseye doesn't miss.
Oh, dude, do we still have time? Can I change the thumbnail? We're gonna call it Daredevil in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Like, maybe we shouldn't do that.
Kingdom and Crystal in the skull.
Maybe. So she's got the white dress on. The Frankenstein connection I was making is when she bleeds, it just blooms red like it did in the early part of the Frankenstein. I was like, oh, this may be the most stylistic thing, the most aesthetically pleasing thing I think this show has done in 2 seasons. I'm like, oh, I get it's a bit cheesy, the blood running through the white, but in the moment, I thought they really sold it. I thought that was super effective.
Yeah.
But yeah, what did you think of the visual? Did the visual hit you like that?
Oh yeah, the visual was great because it started, and then you just see it running down, and then you see the dress, and it just kind of starts building, and then they're like, he's calling for a medic. I'm like, dude, I think it's a little too late. Like, it might not have been deep enough that it would get into the brain, but that pool of blood that was getting around her head, yeah.
The Oracle says, like the chicken guy in Breaking Bad. You mean when Gus came out of the room after the bomb and face off? Half his face is missing. That was pretty clutch. Definitely like that. The outcome of this episode is Kingpin calling for, I need some help. And then he says, get an ambulance. And he just says, somebody please.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
first time you've ever heard him ask for something like that, ever in any run of
Chilling.
Kingpin.
Dude, Kingpin is going places after this episode, dude.
Yep.
So when you talked about the accelerator coming down, I can see
they let the dog off his leash.
Yeah. There's going to be some shit. I don't know. This is an interesting story question for me, right? We've already seen the extents this guy is willing to go to take power, to consolidate it, to keep it. We somehow have the ability to trample the Constitution and general, private rights, things like that. We see the shrewdness within the free ports set up. Like, I get that. What else can this guy do? Like, what
he starts killing
civilians
if they don't hear what they want. Like, he completely takes the guardrails off the ATF. Like, right now, it's no body cams, no search warrants. It's all a farce.
Dude, what's left besides shooting people in the streets?
That's pretty much what it's going to get down to.
Are we going there?
It's going to be Frank versus Frank. Like, it's going to be the Frank mindset in New York.
Yeah,
World War New York.
We're definitely need the Punisher appearance soon. Then
where I believe episode 5 is where we get Jessica Jones for the first time. I think she enters in episode 5, and then we'll get Punisher. I think leading into those last 2.
I see that. This would be a wise use, because if you keep Pun around for 7 and 8, it's 7 and 8, right?
Yeah, 7 and 8.
That could I could see that, because they've already done the whole crossover thing with them before. I think at this point, he's just the kind of character you save for the big moment, for the big wrap-up arc.
Especially when he has his own special. Pretty much episode 9 of this is Punisher one last or one great kill or one last kill.
One shot.
No, it's one last kill.
I thought the name of the actual thing is One Shot.
No, it was a Punisher one shot, meaning one time, like a one shot D&D session.
Oh, I thought that was the title of it.
I mean, it would make sense, but no, it's like one last kill.
Ivan says the trail for the rest of the episodes revealed something unexpected with Jessica. If we're talking about, are we doing the wedding thing or the marriage thing, or was that connected to her and Luke Cage in the comics? So I just saw headlines about them two popping around.
Oh, that's for season 3.
Oh, okay.
Because they're currently filming season 3 right now.
Yeah. I saw some people were butthurt about that. I'm like, didn't that already happen like 30 years ago in print? Like, why would anybody be upset that these two characters are married? You know what I mean? That's kind of a known thing.
Luke Cage and Jessica Jones are married.
That's a special presentation. Oh, yeah, the Punisher. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But what I was saying is, I think that the whole bringing Frank in, like, you can't go to that well too much. As popular as Bernthal is as the Punisher, and I think everybody on the planet liked the Netflix run of that show. Definitely.
The 2 seasons they had, plus the second season crossover, and then season 1 with him in it. Was it 3 times in the season 1?
Yeah, he popped up a fair amount, but that's what I mean. I don't want him every other episode. Like, bring in Jessica Jones. That's in like that. She's street level. She's from there. Like that works. Dude, bring in Luke Cage. Like, I don't care. Like, fucking bring them both in. Let them each have a little bit of a run. My concern with bringing in either one of them or Punisher even is that for a show that's already starved for Daredevil actively doing things, like, how much more focus does that divert from Big Red?
Yeah, exactly. When you start bringing in more people, it becomes more of a diverse cast, and it's not really Daredevil anymore, which they're talking about doing another Defender series. So it can be the big team up of everybody. Again, doing a short run, like a 4-episode Defenders run again. So they had that big team up, and then him going back to having his own type of show. Because, it's supposed to focus around the Daredevil storyline.
Ivan says, going to the well too much like being obsessed with Kingpin. I don't get the showrunner's thought process. Dude, I think it's two different kinds of overusing somebody. I think in the Kingpin case, they just picked like an arch villain that they associated with the character.
Which is his biggest arch villain.
Right. And they just want to run with that. I think that the bringing back a Punisher, like I was saying, has to do with them needing a safety net of something they can do that they know will put asses in seats and eyeballs on the streaming device. Yeah. Is that anytime I catch a Facebook post or I'm calling it Twitter, fuck X, whatever you want to call it, you guys can call it. Whenever I see, Punisher returns to Daredevil, I'm watching that episode. I love Punisher. Like, that's just, I'm wired for that.
Yeah. Like, it's like what wrestling, wrestling did before they changed over. Every time they were like low attendance, all of a sudden you see Steve Austin showing up, or Hogan would show up, or you would have like that nostalgia act show up for it.
Oh yeah, Pape said this a little while ago, and I meant to put a pin in that because I wanted to ask you, King. Wonder which way they pivot. He means after season 2, a lot of Daredevil's foes are very similar to each other. Well, you got Kingpin and the organized crime thing, and then you got all the ninja shit, if I understand the character correctly, right?
Yeah.
So what else does he have? Does he have any supernatural powered foes that they can bring in?
I would have to go through it. Like, I remember because Daredevil was my dad's favorite comic book. I was a Spider-Man guy.
True.
And I always saw there was like a big crossover between Daredevil and Spider-Man. They crossed over a lot in the comics. So I would have to go back and see which one would be next for him, especially since they took out the Muse already.
Well, let's put it to the guys. Let's put it to Ivan and Pape. Guys, who do you want? Like, let us know, because I'd like to go. But I'm a big fan of buying the books you guys tell me to buy and then flipping through them and seeing what I'm missing. Like, I went down to Dr. Doom trip like a year ago after King told me to go check out Secret War and the origin of Doom and, you know, some of his stuff with Mr. Fantastic's background and things. I got a whole collection of crap that I'm still in the middle of reading. So if you guys have favorite villains, I'm down. Pape's recommending Typhoid Mary and the Owl. Okay. I'll have to go take a look at that. Typhoid Mary's an old character, right? Like been around for like a hot minute. Okay, so I thought I recognized that from like a Marvel trading card back in the day, I think. The Owl I'm not too familiar with. I don't know about that one. Because Court of the Owls is Batman, right?
Yeah. Court of the Owls is Batman. Yeah, because it's the natural predator of the bat.
Right. Well, some bats. Not Batman.
Well, still a predator of them.
I don't believe Pape's being serious with this recommendation. He probably is, but I don't believe him. And I'm not adding that to my Amazon wish list.
Yeah,
sorry, Warden Prime, I'm out on that one.
Yeah, but I really think this was a fantastic episode. I think it's really switching gears now. First 3 episodes would get you built in, have that first turning moment, and then have and now you have it moving forward, full gas to the pedal, the war for New York.
Yeah, I'm like I said, man, just based on the ending alone, I'm now willing to see episode 5 like as objectively as possible without hesitation. I'm not cautiously optimistic. I just want to see what the first 10 minutes. I just need to see what the fallout is, because it's going to be ugly.
It's like watching the next roll after something big happened. You want to see what the fallout is.
That's what I'm saying. It's like literally, like when you say that, all I can hear is Jim Ross saying, "We're out of time," and like it cuts to credits while the shit's still going on in the arena. You know, like I want to see that. Well, he sounds like a tall drink of water. Warden Prime, I'll give you that. Yeah, dude. We'll check it out next week. We'll keep you guys posted.